What's going on? What's going on, folks? What's happening? What's new? Sitting around, watching TV, playing video games. That's what's new, right? Oh, man. But as long as we're safe and healthy. Yes, ran a mile. That's awesome. That's awesome. We got to keep that up. We got to do things. We got to go outside. Social distancing. I know we got to wear the mask and all that different stuff. Out here in Fontana, so here's the problem, right? I try and go outside and do that, but we have to wear a mask. Anytime that you're outside in Fontana, outside of your own yard, you have to wear a mask. And it's like $1,000 fine if you don't. And it's like, if you go running or you do any of that stuff with the, if you go outside and you like run, it's like you suffocate. It's awful. It's absolutely awful. So it's like, so doing anything athletic like that outside your house, it's like impossible because you have to have that mask on. So, and it's the worst is it's like it just shoots up all your breath into your eyes. So you're running, you're just like, and it's all shooting up in your eyes, and you're like, I can't see anymore. The cloudy, yeah, it's it's not good. It's not good. I'm gonna put it in as 2 assignments in Google Classroom. So, for the 11-1, 3B, and 3C, choose even or odd, and just go through it. The 11-3B is the easier, and then 3C is the more advanced. Yep. But yeah, let's kind of go over a few of these. So like, I'll just pick a few of them. Let's start with number 16. I'll go into the more difficult ones. So 5x minus 4 over x squared minus 6x minus 7 plus 5x. So that's, whoa. They switched that up. My dyslexic brain. 5 minus 4x over x squared minus 6x minus 7. Okay. So the denominators are the same. So because the denominators are the same, I don't have to do anything fancy yet. I can just combine them together. And it's adding them. So 5x and minus 4x is x. Negative 4 and 5 is 1. And that's over x squared minus 6x minus 7. Now, one thing that we do have to be aware of is what if something cancels out in the bottom? I don't know. Something might reduce. And so the only way that we can check to see if the factors reduce, so we should factor the denominator. And so that is x minus 7 and x plus 1. There it is. So there's the factor that's going to reduce. So you're going to be left with 1 over x minus 7. So we just have to be aware, even though I didn't have to factor it in the beginning, I didn't have to find the common denominator in the beginning, that does not exclude the fact that we need to make sure that it doesn't reduce. So you always have to make sure that it reduces at the very end. As a reminder, let's look at number 17. This says 3x minus 8 over x squared minus 9, and then minus 2x minus 5 over x squared minus 9. That negative is going to distribute. So we're going to get 3x minus 8 minus 2x plus 5 over, and then I have x squared minus 9. So that negative is going to go to this one and to this one. A lot of the times we forget that that minus goes to both, and sometimes we only put it with that first value. So we just need to make sure that when we do the whole distributing, man, it says that I'm lagging right now. What the heck? What is wrong with my internet? Is something downloading? Nothing's downloading. That's weird. I apologize. But anyways, so we just have to make sure that that negative goes to both. Now combining like terms, 3x and minus 2x is x. Negative 8 and 5 is negative 3. It might reduce, so I'm just going to factor that. That factors into x plus 3 and x minus 3. So these factors are the same, so they're going to reduce. And so I'm going to be at 1 over x plus 3. And that's our value. Yeah, so I've been wondering, like, with everyone that's in sports and stuff, like, because you're not able to practice as a team, you're not able to sharpen any of your skills. I wonder what's going to happen. Like, especially for all these young athletes and trying to compete and go to a good school because we're competing and all that different stuff. It's like all of that stuff just eliminated, gone. I just think that's kind of interesting. I wonder, like, when sports finally open, what that's going to look like in terms of competition and all that. Because I'd be rusty. You know, if I was a pitcher and I haven't pitched in 5 months because of this, I'd be rusty. But then again, maybe it's one of those types of things. It's like muscle memory. It comes back quick. Like your brain just has it memorized. Okay. Any questions on... I'll do one of these towards the bottom. I'll do like number 24. This will give us a nice diverse look at all the different ones. Okay, so making the denominators the same. The denominator on these are different, so we do have to find the common denominator. I have one x here, and I have two x's here, so this needs an x over an x, now that they both have two x's. This has a y, this one doesn't, so I need to multiply y over y. And then the last little thing is this has a 2, and this one doesn't. So I need to multiply 2 over 2. So now just to double check, they both have two x's, they both have a y, and they both have a 2. So then 5 times 2 is 10, 10x, and then this would be plus 7y over, and then I get 2x squared y. Yeah, that stinks. Summer season being over. Yeah, that stinks. That really, really is unfortunate, because I think this time of year too, right? This being a junior, this is when the scouting really happens, and you start getting followed by all these scouts. I know that when my cousin was recruited to Ohio State, you know, she had someone follow her around to almost every single game for like 4 months straight. And it was like every time afterwards they would go up to like the parents and be like, so when are you gonna sign? Right here. Like, look, I just need your signature. So yeah, that really stinks. Oh, this is like, it's unfortunate. This is like super duper unfortunate. Schools are hurting too. Like, I heard a lot of colleges are actually lowering the requirements to try and incentivize students to go. which is outrageous. Like, for example, for graduate programs, you need to have a 3.0 GPA to go to a graduate program. So, you know how they say C's get degrees? It's C's get you a single degree. So, if you're ever thinking about getting your PhD, or if you're ever thinking about getting your master's degree, you have to maintain a 3.0 GPA to be accepted into that program. Well, that was before recent stuff, because on some of these college things, they're starting to accept 2.5 GPA. 2.5. So they've lowered the requirements to try and incentivize more people in their graduate program. And I'm not certain like what that's going to do and to everyone else's degree and all that different stuff. It's interesting. It's interesting that they dropped it by 0.5. Yeah, this one the coaches are allowed to come out and scout. That's unfortunate. I hope this thing goes by super quick, that they can create appropriate boundaries, that they create these like masks that allows you to go out there and, you know, compete still, but not like affect any performance. And then everyone just go out there and have some fun. Yeah, shoot. That's a massive bummer. That's a massive bummer. This thing just needs to go by. It just, bye COVID. We're done with you. It's over. I'm declaring it right now. It's over. You just need to hit the road. You need to mutate into something useless, and then everything be better. Like, that's what needs to happen, COVID. Like, I'm sick of this. I'm making a declaration right now. All right, so that's 11-1-3B. Any of those problems that you guys notice? I mean, you guys can go on the website and take a look at it. Any of those problems that you notice that you would like me to go over before I move on? Yeah, sports kids. I feel really bad. That's just, it's... Are you still able to, like, practice with your dad? Like, is he able to... Or your mom or anything like that? This is their last summer. So then even the teams that you travel with, it's kind of like a forced farewell. Like, you won't be with that team anymore, and you didn't get the opportunity to actually say goodbye. That's sad. That's so unfortunate. Ugh, it's the worst. Ugh. All right, so that seems no questions in 11.3b. Let's look at 11.3c. So this is where they start getting a little bit more complicated, but overall, nothing has changed. So let's look at number 31. So this one says x plus 2 over x minus 6 minus, and then x squared plus 5x plus 14 over x squared minus 2x minus 24. So the denominators are clearly different. So I should factor to see, you know, which denominators are the same or not. And so this would factor into x minus 6 and x plus 4. So then this would be x plus 2 over x minus 6 minus, and then I have x squared plus 5x plus 14 over x minus 6, x plus 4. All right, so Because the denominators are different, to find the common denominator, I need to multiply by x plus 4 over x plus 4. Now that the denominators are the same, remember that minus means that everything is going to get subtracted. But this is already all multiplied out. So on this side, we're going to have to multiply this all through so I can combine things together. So x times x, you get x squared. X times 4 is 4x. 2 times x, so that's going to give me 4 and 2 is 6x, and then plus 8. Now this minus is going to distribute with all three of these terms, so we're going to get minus x squared, minus 5x, minus 14. And on the bottom, I'm just going to leave it factored because something might reduce. I don't know yet. I'm not a prophet, but it's always better to be safe than sorry. So the x squareds are going to cancel out. The 6x and the 5x become x. And then the 8 and the minus 14 become minus 6. Oh no, look at that. Maybe I am a prophet. Maybe I can predict the future. And so now these x minus 6's will cancel out. And I get 1 over x plus 4. And so that's going to be what our answer is. Well, that's good that you're still able to practice. I mean, it's not the same, but that's good that you guys have a net. Dude, in your garage, though, one wild ball and it's over? Or is it like built really, really well to where like this ball is not going to sling out somewhere and just shatter something? Oh, man. That's good that you guys still have been able to check on each other, though. That's awesome. You guys should plan like some like meetup after all this craziness so that you guys can like actually, if hopefully, you know, this thing gets resolved in a month and everyone can, you know, start getting back together, and then maybe your league isn't canceled. But if it is, hopefully you guys can, you know, plan something to where you guys can meet up and have a party and hang out and enjoy each other's companies before you move on. But yeah, practicing in the garage. Oh man, I'm just thinking because my garage, I have a window. Yeah. There goes the window. So any questions on 31? Let's look at one that has like multiple of them going on. So like 45. So I have 1 over x plus 1 minus x over x minus 2 plus, and then x squared plus 2 over x squared minus x minus 2. Okay. So I'm going to need the room. So we need to completely factor it, and by factoring it, you know, we're going to be able to see what's missing. So this one is already factored. This one is already factored. This one is not factored. And so that will factor into x minus 2 and x plus 1. So now, this has an x plus 1. This one has an x plus 1. This one doesn't. This has an x minus 2. This one has an x minus 2. This one doesn't. Now they all have the same denominator, so multiply everything out. So distribute the 1. So you get x minus 2. And then this is a minus, so think of it as minus x. And I'm distributing that minus x. So negative x times x would give you minus x squared. Negative x times 1 would give you minus x. And then you get the plus x squared plus 2. Now, just in case something's going to reduce, I'm going to leave everything factored. Can I predict the future? Oh no, look at this. Everything cancels out. So I get 0 over that stuff. But that's the same thing as 0. You know, some people find it satisfying when you have a math problem and everything cancels out and you get 0. I'm one of those that I find it very unsatisfying. That I just did all of this work and everything canceled out and I got a 0. It's just something about that that's just, I don't know, it's not satisfying. That's awesome. I'd love to be able to convert my garage into like a gym. That's one thing that eventually, because this is like our first house or entry level house, but eventually, you know, when we move to a bigger, better house and all that different stuff, I'm going to make sure that I have like a larger garage, and I'm going to convert a piece of that garage into a gym. I think that's awesome. Save money too. You know, you spend like $50 a month for the gym between me and my wife, not including the gas and all that stuff that you spend to go there, or yearly membership fees and all that. And I know what you guys are thinking. Well, it's only $10 at Crunch. Some of those gyms are kind of trash. So, anyways. All right, 49. We got a request. Isabella looked at this and she's like, So we have 1 over x squared plus 5x plus 6. You know, the hilarious thing, last year when I was teaching this concept, when we were going over this exact one, I accidentally, we were doing like an activity where I had stations, and we would go from each station and we'd practice these problems and we'd work on it. And the problem that I wrote it down wrong. Like, one of these was like a minus or a plus, or like, I forgot exactly, but maybe the 2, I put a 1. But nothing simplified nicely. Nothing canceled out nicely. You just got these awful, insane large numbers. And it was just a mess. And instead of just being like, oh, typo, let me change that for you, I was like, you guys are going to deal with it. And it was hilarious watching everyone struggle with it. But now the secret is out. And you guys know. Okay, so in this problem here, we just need to factor the denominator so that we can see what's missing. So here I get 1 over, and then this is x plus 2, and then x plus 3, and then minus, and here you get 2 over, and then you get x plus 2, and then x plus 1. And then here you get plus 1 over, and this factors into x minus 4 and x plus 1. All right. So this one's going to be kind of a mess. Let's start comparing them. This has an x plus 2. This one has an x plus 2. This one doesn't. So multiply x plus 2 over x plus 2. Now they all have this x plus 2. This has an x plus 3. This one doesn't. Dude, when I get an email, I get a chime, and it scares me every single time that I do a live stream. I don't know why. And this one does not have an x plus 3. Wow, this one's going to be kind of messy. This one has an x plus 1. This one has an x plus 1. This one doesn't. And I'm going to change the color. This has an x minus 4. This one doesn't. This one doesn't. Wow. Okay. And this one does. Okay, so let's just double check this before we move on. They all have x plus 2s. Yes. They all have x plus 3s. Yes. They all have x plus 1s. Yes. And they all have x minus 4s. Yes. Okay. So all the denominators are the same. So now I just need to clean this up. And I'm just going to multiply all this through. So x times x, you get x squared. And then minus 4x plus 1x, so minus 3x, and then minus 4. So all I did was just distribute that. And then I'm going to multiply this together and then multiply the negative 2 through. So this is going to be x squared minus 4 plus 3, so minus x, and then minus 12. So then negative 2 times x squared is negative 2x squared. Negative 2 times negative x is plus 2x. Negative 2 times negative 12 is plus 24. And then 1 times any of that, so I'm just going to multiply this through. And so that's going to give me plus x squared plus, so 3 and 2 is 5x, and then plus 6. Wow. And on the bottom, I get x plus 2 times, is it blocking? No, I'm just lagging. X plus 3, x plus 1, and x minus 4. You know what I'm going to do after this? I'm going to reset my router, because that's probably the reason why it's lagging. All right. So I'm going to leave the denominator factored, A, because you can, B, because that's going to take a really long time multiplying that all through, and we don't need to wait to do that. So x squared, and x squared is 2x squared. That's going to cancel out with minus 2x squared. So those cancel out. Negative 3x plus 2x plus 5x. So negative 3 plus 2 is negative 1. Negative 1 plus 5 is 4. So that's going to be 4x. And then negative 4 plus 24 is 20. 20 plus 6 gives me 26. And it's over that. 4 doesn't go into 26, so even if I factor out a 2, nothing's going to reduce. So that's my answer. Just because I'm running out of space, just the answer would be with that denominator there. Just to save some time and not writing it out. That's a good problem. That's a really good problem. I'm going to pause it here for like 5 seconds. So just in case you guys can all take a look at that. But like I said, just to review this, I factored it to see the denominators because the denominators are different. I found the common denominator. So I made sure all the factors in the denominator are the same. Once all the denominator have the same factors, we know how they have a common denominator. And then from there, it was all simplification and reducing. And that about covers the majority of these types of problems. Are there any last questions? Watch, everyone's gonna pick odd since I did this one. That's funny. But yeah, I mean, you guys have the weekend to work on this. There is no stream tomorrow, and you know, like, I'm gonna be honest, we're almost done. I mean, we're almost done. Like, we're almost done with chapter 11, which means we're done with the curriculum in the book. There is just a few things that we're gonna kind of go over for pre-calculus. That's gonna make the transition into pre-calculus a little easier. Then we have basically it's gonna be the final review, and we're done. So it's, I think after chapter 11, it's like 10 lessons or 8 lessons or something like that. It's not a whole lot, which is interesting. So I'm gonna miss you guys. But okay, well, thank you guys so much for being here. It's been awesome. I'm proud of you guys. Thank you for keeping at it. But let's work on the 11, 2, B, and C. I just want you to, even though there's a bunch of problems here, just do the even or odd. You don't do all of them. And maybe I'll post the answers. Maybe I'll do that, and you guys can check your work. That might be nice. Other than that, thanks. Hope you guys have a good day. Have a good weekend. Stay healthy. Stay safe. Be active. And I'll see you guys later.